Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again inside Pheno Field here in Milford, as Milford TV is happy to bring you coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics. Once again, this is Tim Coet on the call, back here at Pheno to bring you continuing coverage of the Milford Scarlet Hawks baseball team. Today they get set to take on a division rival in the North Attleboro Rocketeers. It is the first matchup for the baseball team against North Attleboro as a division rival, finishing up their first year in the Davenport division after moving over from the Kelly Rex, North Attleboro. And Milford comes into today's matchup with an overall record of 4-2, riding a 4-game win streak. They are right now tied for second place in the Davenport standings, and they have been locked in all phases of the game over these last 4 games. We take a look at this streak. Over these last 4 games, they have been outscoring their opponents by a combined margin of 31-8. So the offense has been there. Of course, that has been backed up by a couple of double-digit run performances, 11 runs in the win over Canton, 12 runs in the win over Hopedale. But the offense has been efficient. The pitching has also been standout. In particular, as we look at the last 3 games for Milford, Alex Masick and Aiden Wild have combined to make those 3 starts. They've thrown a total of 19 innings and have allowed just a single earned run over the course of those 3 starts. All wins, of course, in those 3. Alex Masick now with 2 wins overall on the season. Aiden Wild with 1 win. He will make his second start of this 2017 season here this afternoon, but we'll get more into the lineup a little bit later on in the pregame. But, of course, Milford last time out in a game that we covered here on Milford TV, they were able to squeak out a victory over Foxborough here at Pheno by a final score of 3-2. Milford did all of their offensive damage in 1 inning, scoring 3 runs with 2 outs in the 3rd inning. All of those runs unearned, as a key error in the outfield led the way to that rally, but Milford really maximizing their chances. And Alex Masick, another strong start on the mound. Things got a little bit dicey in the 7th inning after a couple of errors at shortstop for Milford, but ultimately the Hawks were able to walk away with that 4th straight win, a 3-2 victory over Foxborough, again to propel them into second place in the Davenport standings. But they are tied in second place in the standings with the very team they will face here this afternoon in North Attleboro. It's been a little bit of an up and down season for the Rocketeers so far in their first year in the Davenport division. They started off the season on a 2-game losing streak, then really got things back on track with a 3-game winning streak. But they have now lost their last 3 straight. We believe one of those games does not count towards their overall Hockomock League standings, as they do enter into action with an overall record of 3-4 despite having 5 total losses on the season. But they officially are listed as 3-4 in the standings, 3-3 within Hockomock League play. But in a virtual tie for second place in the standings with Milford, so whoever walks away with the victory here today will walk away in sole possession of second place. Right now it is the Stoughton Black Knights who lead the way in the Davenport division with an overall record of 5-2, 4-2 within league play. Then it is Milford and North Attleboro. Sharon right now in 4th place with a 2-3 overall record. Canton in 5th place at 1-5, and Foxborough right now in last place in the Davenport standings with a 2-4 overall record. Foxborough still looking for that first win in the Hockomock League. But North Attleboro boasts some high-end talent really up and down this roster. They have 3 pitchers that right now, as we look at the Hockomock League standings, have ERAs at 1.24 or better. So they have some starting pitchers that have really been dominating in the early goings of the season. They also have a trio of batters who are hitting over 500 on the young season. Milford also has a 500-plus batting average on their team in Aiden Wild. So there are some talented players on both of these rosters, which should set up a very good battle. This is always a particularly good matchup between Milford and North Attleboro, regardless of the sport. And of course, the 2 softball teams for Milford and North Attleboro are taking the field in North Attleboro this afternoon for their first matchup of the season. That is always an exciting matchup on the softball field as well. We'll look forward to bringing you Milford and North Attleboro softball a little bit later on in our coverage of this 2017 spring sports season. But right now, all eyes on the baseball field, as we are just a few moments away from the first pitch in this game. Right now, North Attleboro finishing up their infield drills out there on the Pheno playing surface. So while we have the opportunity, let's bring you the starting lineups for this afternoon's game. We begin with the visitors, the North Attleboro Rocketeers. Leading it off is their center fielder, Kyle McCarthy. The starting pitcher, Nick Sinicola, bats second. The right fielder, Nathan Pierce, bats third, with Zach DiMatteo, the catcher, batting fourth. Nick Crawley, the first baseman, bats fifth, with the third baseman Matt Iaconis batting sixth. Batting seventh is the designated hitter Nolan Buckley, with the shortstop John Brennan batting eighth, and in the ninth spot playing left field is Jeff Gale. And for the Milford Scarlet Hawks, their lineup looks like this. Ryan Gonsalves is your center fielder in the leadoff spot. Anthony Arcudi plays second and bats second, with Aiden Wild in as the starting pitcher batting third. Zach Tamani is your cleanup hitter and your shortstop, with Alex Cody in at third base batting fifth. Alex Masick is at first base batting sixth, with Tyler Renaud, the designated hitter, batting seventh. Kevin Cambrola plays left field and bats eighth, and Tony Mobilia is in the ninth spot playing right field. And so again, your pitching matchup in this one, Nick Sinicola on the mound for North Attleboro. He is opposed by Aiden Wild. We had a chance to bring you Aiden's first start of the 2017 season a couple of weeks ago against Franklin. That was a complete game effort for Aiden. No earned runs allowed in the matchup, as Milford ended up winning that game by a final score of 5-1. 6 strikeouts in the game for Aiden, so very good in his first start of 2017, looking to build on that here today. And of course, opposed by a very talented starter on the other side in Nick Sinicola. He's a talented offensive player for this team and also a solid pitching arm as well. As again, we mentioned, a lot of low ERAs all around this North Attleboro pitching staff. We look at some of the stats for Nick Sinicola. He comes in with an overall record of 1-2. He's thrown 14 2/3 innings. He's struck out 17 batters so far on the season to 8 walks, and he brings a 3.34 ERA to the Pheno Field pitching mound for this game this afternoon. Again, expected to get underway in a little under 5 minutes from now, so what we will do is we'll step aside very briefly and we will have the first pitch for you in this matchup between the Milford Scarlet Hawks and the North Attleboro Rocketeers when we come back next here on Milford TV. Time for baseball here at Pheno Field. Aiden Wild and the Milford Scarlet Hawks out on the field right now, finishing up some warm-up tosses before we get this ball game underway. Milford and North Attleboro, a lot of red and a lot of white out on the field this afternoon. Both teams in near identical uniforms. You'll be able to tell the difference for North Attleboro out on the field defensively with the addition of white hats versus the red hats for the Scarlet Hawks. But other than that, the uniform's pretty much the same. And Aiden Wild, again, continuing his warm-up tosses out on the mound, about to make his second start of 2017. The first one was excellent, a complete game effort where he allowed just 2 hits and 2 walks. He struck out 7 over 7 innings pitched. He hit 1 batter. He allowed a single unearned run. So he comes in with an ERA of 0 as he takes on this tough North Attleboro lineup. The leadoff hitter for the Rocketeers, Kyle McCarthy, steps in on the right side as Aiden Wild winds up for the first pitch. And it's in a little bit low for ball 1. And once again, we have baseball underway here at Pheno. Wild's 1-0 pitch is sent in the air, foul off to the right and out of play. That evens the count. Kyle McCarthy followed by Nick Sinicola and Nathan Pierce in the top of the first. And now a 2-ball, 1-strike count. As that pitch again dipped in a little bit low. Wild's next delivery misses outside this time, so he falls behind the first batter of the afternoon by a count of 3 balls and 1 strike. Back into his windup, and the next pitch is swung on and missed. And that will fill the count. Wild working quickly now. Here's his payoff pitch, and it's chopped slowly on the ground to third. Gobbled up by Cody. He hustles the throw over to first base and gets it there in time. A good job by Masick on the back end to maintain contact with the bag. That throw came in a little bit low, but handled nicely by the senior captain Masick at first. And the first out is retired as McCarthy is out 5-3. We've seen Alex Cody and Aiden Wild sharing time at third base. Cody operating as the DH when Wild is out there defensively, as that ball pops in and out of the mitt of Riley Lynch, the catcher. A 1-ball, no-strike count on Nick Sinicola, the starting pitcher on the North Attleboro side. He sends this one through the left side of the infield for a base hit. So Sinicola wasting no time. He gets himself a 1-out base hit. First hit of the ball game, and it puts a runner at first base ahead of Nathan Pierce, the starting right fielder. And Wild's first pitch is a fastball right in there for a called strike one. A modest lead at first base for Sinicola. He's held on by Masick. And a breaking ball loops in too high. Wild trying to get comfortable with his command here in the first inning. And now a big swing and a miss. Healthy cut by Nathan Pierce, but now down in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Right-handed bat in there against the right-handed throwing Aiden Wild. His next pitch is hit high in the air, but not particularly deep out in left center field. Ryan Gonsalves, the center fielder, takes charge, and he makes the catch for out number 2. Second out of the inning. Sinicola remains at first base now, ahead of the cleanup hitter Zach DiMatteo. Another righty stick with 2 down in the inning. And Wild gets that pitch to paint the outside part of the plate, just grabbing a piece of that outside edge for a called strike one. A brief peek over at Sinicola at first, and now Wild trying to test that outside part of the plate again, this time a little too far off the plate. Hesitation from Wild, now the pitch, and hit hard but foul. Quickly past the outstretched right hand of the third base coach, probably for the best that one went past the hand. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and a runner at first in the top of the first. And Wild again misses high with the breaking ball. An even 2 ball and 2 strike count against the North Attleboro catcher. Wild ready with another pitch, and it's high with the fastball. And that brings us to a full count. It will give Nick Sinicola a chance to get off to a head start at first base on the next pitch. And we'll check over at first base. Sinicola able to get back standing. Runner goes as this pitch is lifted in the air out to left. Cambrola now back a few steps, settles underneath, waiting for that one to come down. That had a lot of hang time on it, but eventually it ends up in the glove of Kevin Cambrola for the out that ends the inning. So the 1 out base hit proves to be harmless for Wild, as we have now played a half inning from Pheno Field. No score, as Milford will take their first swings of the game when we come back next on coverage of Milford Scarlet Hawks Athletics on Milford TV. Once again, it is the trio of Ryan Gonsalves, Anthony Arcudi, and Aiden Wild that get this Milford lineup started. Facing the starting pitcher for North Attleboro, Nick Sinicola, who delivers his first pitch of the outing high for ball 1. Sinicola grabbing a single offensively in the top half of this inning, but was stranded at first base. And now delivers that pitch inside and low, and he falls behind the first Milford batter by a count of 2 balls and no strikes. Gonsalves now tops this ball on the ground towards second base. Waiting for it is Pasquale, and he fires to first to retire Gonsalves 4-3. And now Arcudi waiting to dig in. Should point out Ryan Pasquale for North Attleboro flexed out of the starting lineup, only playing defensively at second base. Anthony Arcudi now takes a look at a called strike one. Right-handed pitcher into his windup, and the delivery misses low, evening at a ball and a strike. Arcudi producing for Milford once again as part of that third inning rally, in which Milford scored their 3 runs against Foxborough in their last outing. Collected an RBI double. Here he sends a slow roller on the ground to second base, a diving attempt for Pasquale. He can't make a play, and Arcudi has a 1-out single. So Arcudi keeps on hitting. Came through with that RBI double and also a pair of walks in Milford's last game, batting over 300. And good speed aboard at first, ahead of Aiden Wild. And Wild rips this ball out into shallow left field for a base hit. Arcudi will touch second base and hold there. Wild swings at the first pitch, makes it back-to-back base hits for the Scarlet Hawks. And they now have runners aboard at first and second with only 1 out. Milford has scored first inning runs in 3 out of their current 4-game winning streak. The exception, that game against Foxborough last Thursday. Waited until the 3rd inning to generate their offense. Zach Tamani, meanwhile, taking that pitch up around the chin for ball 1. Tamani now sends this ball on the ground to the backstop, evening the count at 1-1. Tamani had a bit of a tough day defensively against Foxborough last Thursday, committing a couple of errors in the 7th inning, extending that game a bit, but Milford ultimately getting the win. As Tamani takes that pitch on the outside edge for a called strike 2. A 1-ball, 2-strike count. As Arcudi takes his lead at second, a healthy lead. Wild a lead off of first. As this ball is sent slowly on the ground towards shortstop, they'll throw to second base. They are able to get the out there. That is all North Attleboro will get. That was slow developing. Initially seeing Brennan send that throw towards second base, you wondered if he was going to get the out there. That ball was hit so slowly, but a quick throw was able to get there just ahead of Aiden Wild, so he gets retired at second base. Tamani safe at first on the fielder's choice. And Arcudi advances to third base, so that sets up runners at the corners with 2 outs and a chance for Alex Cody. And he takes the first pitch outside for ball 1. Set by Sinicola, now the pitch. And this is hit hard out to right center field, down for a hit. Trotting in towards the plate is Arcudi, as Tamani will go first to third. It is an RBI single for Alex Cody, and once again, Milford able to do some first inning damage. It is 1-0 Scarlet Hawks. The 3rd hit of the inning, and this one produces a run as Arcudi scores. And Tamani off on contact, able to get himself to third base. So now Alex Masick will have a chance with runners at first and third. 3 hits now in the inning for Milford. As that ball now gets away from the catcher, Tamani breaking for the plate, and he will score. The pitch in the dirt from Sinicola, getting away from the catcher DiMatteo, and Milford able to grab a second run, now 2-0. A wild pitch for Sinicola, and DiMatteo now out for a quick conversation with his pitcher before the at-bat continues for Masick. It's a 1-ball, no-strike count with now just 1 runner aboard. Alex Cody now at second. 2-ball, no strike count now.
Hey, something you can drive. Think middle, drive it.
Hey, let's go, Mace.
Hey, Mitch, up.
Hey, Mace, come on, kid.
Again, Sinicola sets. Now here's his 2-0 pitch. Masick offers it that one and sends it foul straight back. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs, and a runner in scoring position. Milford already grabbing a pair of runs here in the first, looking for more. The next pitch, and that one just avoiding making contact with Masick. He had to jackknife out of the way. And Masick now with a 3-ball, 1 strike count. Should he reach, Tyler Renault would have a chance in the inning. Here's the 3-1, and this is sent down the line, but foul. Masick swinging away at a pitch in on the hands and sent it foul down the left field line to fill the count. Takes right back in tight on the right side. Here comes the payoff pitch. And it's lofted foul just up over the press box. And we'll do it again. Cody's lead getting a little bit bigger at second base. Sinicola's 3-2 pitch, and this is a high drive out to left field. Racing back is Gale, now into foul territory, and he is able to make up the ground and make the catch. That traveled a long way off the bat of Alex Masick. But Jeff Gale, the left fielder for North Attleboro, able to track it down a few steps into foul territory. And that will end the inning, but a productive first inning for Milford. They're able to grab a couple of runs. They take a 2-0 lead on North Attleboro as we will start the second inning when we come back here on Milford TV. Milford scoring 2 times in the bottom of the first inning. They take a 2-0 lead as Alex Masick returns, Aiden Wild returns to the hill for the top half of the second inning. First pitch swinging, Nick Crawley pops it up on the infield. This should be playable for Masick. And right on the line, he is able to make the catch a few steps away from the first base bag. And Crawley is retired on 1 pitch. Matt Iaconis, the third baseman, now ready to take his first look against Aiden Wild. And the first pitch of the at-bat is a fastball in for strike 1. Defensively for the Scarlet Hawks, it is Riley Lynch once again behind the plate, operating only defensively. As this pitch misses outside for a ball, it is Alex Cody at third, Zach Tamani at short, Anthony Arcudi at second, and Alex Masick at first. Left to right in the outfield, Kevin Cambrola, Ryan Gonsalves, and Tony Mobilia. It's now a 2-ball, 1 strike count. And now a fastball evens the count at 2. It feels like Aiden Wild has not quite gotten the command of his breaking ball in the early going of this one. But induces a ground ball here off the bat of Iaconis. He throws to Masick. And 1-3. Iaconis is retired, 2 up and 2 down in the top of the second. And that leaves it up to the designated hitter, Nolan Buckley, the number 7 hitter. And there's an off-speed pitch that grabs the strike zone. The 0-1 is sent on the ground towards first base. Masick has it in and out of the glove, but keeps it in front of him and fires to the pitcher, Aiden Wild, covering the bag. And it ends up going as a very quick and easy top half of the first inning. Wild sets them down 1-2-3. We head to the home half of the inning next. It is still Milford 2 and North Attleboro 0 here on coverage of Milford High School baseball on Milford TV. The bottom third of the Milford lineup, Tyler Renault, Kevin Cambrola, and Tony Mobilia due up in the bottom half of the second inning. against Nick Sinicola. And Sinicola delivers one up and in on Renault to open up the bottom half of this frame. The 1-0 pitch, and that comes in even further, and that gets Tyler Renault. It looked like it might have gotten him in the abdomen. Doubled over momentarily, now heading down to first base. Renault, one of the toughest kids on this team. He just wants to play. Has a very Dustin Pedroia kind of mindset out there. But he will get checked on now by head coach Paul Pellegrini. Just a quick check, knows Tyler is okay. So the senior captain takes his base at first. The leadoff man aboard now for Cambrola. And you always have to be aware of a bunt attempt when Cambrola comes to the plate. Renault quickly out to a really large lead at first base. He's held on by Crawley. He goes as this ball is bunted at, but sent foul off the bat of Cambrola. So a no ball, 1 strike count. Renault right back out to a lead. This time he holds. No bunt attempt out of Cambrola, but instead takes a look at a called strike 2. And now a pickoff check over at first base that sends Renault sprawling back to the bag. Cambrola batting .267. As now he sends this ball out into right field, tracking it towards the line as Pierce now a step into foul territory. The right fielder Nathan Pierce able to make the catch. And Cambrola retired. The full defensive alignment for North Attleboro. Zach DiMatteo behind the plate, Matt Iaconis at third, John Brennan at second, John Brennan at short, Ryan Pasquale at second, and Nick Crawley at first. Left to right in the outfield, Jeff Gale, Kyle McCarthy, and Nathan Pierce. Again, Renault goes. The pitch is down low. The throw to second base is not in time. The shortstop covering the bag, but could not get that tag down on Tyler Renault. He has the stolen base. So Renault able to get himself into scoring position with 1 out. Mobilia at the plate. And he swings and misses, could not catch up to that fastball. And it's a 1 ball, 1 strike count on Mobilia. Ryan Gonsalves, the top of the Milford order, waiting on deck. As the next pitch is on the outside edge. Good pitch from Sinicola. The set now by Sinicola and his pitch, and that's in for a called strike 3. Mobilia looks back to the umpire frustrated, but that appeared to be a good pitch at the knees. That's the first strikeout of the game for Nick Sinicola. 2 down now in the second, and a chance for Gonsalves. And the first pitch down in the dirt. Good block by DiMatteo. Renault leading off this inning by getting the hit by pitch, then stole second base. He's there with 2 outs as Gonsalves pops this one up behind the first base bag. Now backpedaling out onto the outfield grass. Nick Crawley makes the catch, and that will do it here in the bottom half of the second inning. So Milford gets a runner into scoring position. They cannot score. And after 2 full innings of play from Pheno Field, it is a 2-0 Milford lead on North Attleboro on coverage of Scarlet Hawks Athletics on Milford TV. North Attleboro entering this baseball game on a 3-game losing streak. They trail Milford 2-0 as we enter the 3rd inning. And the first pitch in from Aiden Wild is low. Now a chopper on the ground towards third. That's a fair ball. A long throw for Cody, and that will pull Alex Masick off the bag. It was going to take perfect execution to get an out there as that ball was hit deep behind the third base bag. Cody able to range to get to it, but very difficult to make the throw across the diamond in time, so that in all likelihood will go as an infield single for John Brennan, the number 8 hitter. And so North Attleboro has a leadoff base runner. And a called strike from Aiden Wild into Jeff Gale, the left fielder and number 9 hitter. Now showing bunt, pulls the bat back and takes a ball. Similar pitch to the previous one. 30 pitches now in the outing for Wild, as he takes a look over at first base and sends John Brennan back to the bag. And now another instance where the number 9 hitter shows bunt, but again takes a pitch low and jumps ahead in the count 2-1. And this time offers at it, but misses. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nobody out here in the top of the 3rd. Milford with the 2-0 lead, but North Attleboro with the tying run at the plate. And that ball drops in for a called strike 3. Gale knew it. Immediately heads back to the dugout. There's the first strikeout for Aiden Wild. So now 1 down, and we go second time through the North Attleboro lineup as McCarthy stands in on the right side. But before we see a pitch, we see another pickoff attempt, and again, Brendan able to get back safely. Kyle McCarthy grounded out to third base his first time up. And now McCarthy shows bunt as he takes a pitch high. One ball and no strikes. As again McCarthy shows bunt, he's able to get it down the third base line. Cody pounces on it and fires to first base. Now the runner takes a wide turn at second, but he's able to get back. So credit McCarthy with the sacrifice. He's able to get Brennan down to second base, although there are now 2 outs in the inning. And North Attleboro will look for something out of their starting pitcher, Nick Sinicola. Sets up with a wide open stance on the left side and takes the first pitch for strike 1. Wild stares down at second, now fires to the plate and high. Sinicola came through with the first North Attleboro hit back in the first inning, a single. Did not advance past first base. And now ahead in the count, 2 balls and a strike. And now Wild spins off the pitching rubber, fires a throw down to second base with Tamani sneaking in behind the runner, but not a close play there. More of a lob toss from Wild. Dangerous play. Now a 2-1 pitch. It's sent foul wide of first base. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 away in the third. A runner in scoring position for the Rocketeers. Aiden Wild looking to keep him there. The set and the pitch, and that's fouled to the backstop, and that might have ended up right back into people's living rooms as that looked to hit square off of our camera behind the backstop. That'll wake up the viewers back at home. Still a 2-ball, 2-strike count. The next pitch, this is a liner out to right field. Mobilia will have to play it on a hop. They wave the runner to the plate. Here comes the throw. It will not be in time. As Brennan slides in safely, now taking second base is Sinicola. He gets an RBI as North Attleboro makes it now 2-1. Sinicola just dumping that ball out into shallow right field. Nothing Mobilia could do but play it on a hop, and no chance to get the throw home in time, so it will be an RBI single for Sinicola. He takes second base on the throw to the plate. So that puts the tying run now in scoring position and a chance for Nathan Pierce. Milford now with a 2-1 lead. Pierce popped out to shallow center field his first time up, and now sends this ball high in the air once again out to center field. Gonzalez has it sized up and is able to make the catch for the out that ends the inning. North Attleboro able to get a run on the RBI single by Sinicola, but Milford still leads it now by a margin of 2-1 as we head to the bottom of the third inning next here on Milford TV. 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors for Milford. 1 run, 3 hits, and no errors for North Attleboro. North grabbing a run courtesy of a 2-out RBI from Nick Sinicola in the top half of this inning, who now returns to the pitcher's mound to face batters 2, 3, and 4 in the Milford lineup. Anthony Arcudi to get it started. He swings away at the first pitch and dribbles it down the third base line. That will be an infield base hit. Matt Iaconis electing to pick that ball up instead of letting it trickle down that third base line to see if it might go foul. There was no chance to get Arcudi at first base. So it ends up going as an infield hit to lead things off. And now here's Wild, who takes a pitch up over the helmet. North Attleboro starting their half of the third inning with an infield hit. That runner ended up coming around to score. Milford hoping to see the same result here in their half of the inning as Arcudi takes off for second. The throw down is not in time. And that throw down to second base caught the pitcher completely by surprise. That narrowly missed him. And right now the coaching staff for North Attleboro out for a chat with the starting pitcher. The head coach for North Attleboro is Paul Tobin. In a conference now with Sinicola and the catcher Zach DiMatteo. Milford very quickly getting a runner down into scoring position with nobody out in the bottom of the third. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count on Aiden Wild, pitcher versus pitcher here in the at-bat. Wild lets that pitch go, but it's on the outside part of the plate for a called strike 2. Very warm day. Nice spring day here this afternoon in Milford. The temperatures were right at 70 degrees at game time. Here's the 1-2 pitch. It's slapped on the ground towards shortstop, rounding to make the play as Brennan. His throw to first base is low, And it pops out of the glove of Crawley, allowing Wild to reach, and Anthony Arcudi up to third base in the process. That'll go as an error on the shortstop, John Brennan, the first error of the game. Puts Wild at first. And a chance for Zach Tamani. He reached on a fielder's choice in the first inning, ended up coming around to score on a Wild pitch, as Milford played at 2 in the bottom of the first. Looking to build on a 2-1 lead here in the third as Tamani sends this one. It's a liner that goes in and out of the glove of the shortstop. He throws to second base, not in time. Everyone's safe and a run scores. So a tough sequence for the shortstop, John Brennan, making the throwing error as Wild reached it first on the previous at-bat, and now here a soft line drive. It should have been an out. Instead pops out of the glove, everyone is safe, and now Milford takes a 3-1 lead. And runners at first and second now for Alex Cody. And a late snap throw down to first base. Tamani slides back into the bag. Back-to-back errors at shortstop, no RBI for Tamani, as Arcudi came in to score. Wild safely to second. And now timeout is granted at the plate. Too much time taken in between pitches for Sinicola. Cody ready once again on the left side. Here's the pitch, and it's low. It's a 2-ball, no strike count. Cody drove in one of Milford's first inning runs with an RBI single. And there's a called strike. Breeze lightly blowing in from left center field. The 2-1 is sent foul off into the trees behind the third base side. And from 2-0, Sinicola has worked it to an even count of 2 balls and 2 strikes. The runners lead. And it gets the attention of Sinicola. He steps off the rubber as Wild had a particularly large lead at second base. The runners go as this pitch is swung on and missed. The throw down to third base. And it ends up out into shallow left field. The runner's safe. The throw definitely got there before Aiden Wild. But the ball eluding the glove of the third baseman, Matt Iaconis, and ended up out into short left. So a gutsy call as both runners took off on the 2-2 pitch. Cody, who doesn't strike out that often, strikes out here, but the runners safely advance. And that's just the first out of the inning. 2 in scoring position now. It pulls the infield in all the way around for North Attleboro as Masick steps to the plate. Takes the pitch up and in. Masick 0 for 1 so far on the afternoon, trying to deliver a big hit here with 2 in scoring position. Swing and a miss. And the count now 1-1. Masick sent a ball deep down the left field line. It ended up twisting into foul ground and into the glove of Jeff Gale, deep in foul territory out in left. Here, this ball is stung foul down the third base line. Aiden Wild had to hit the deck. That is why you take your lead in foul territory at third base. It's now a 1-ball, 2-strike count on Masick. Here's the pitch, and it's a pop-up on the infield. The pitcher moves into foul territory. He takes charge, and Sinicola makes the catch. A big out on the foul pop-up. It freezes Wild and Tamani at third and second base, respectively. Masick now 0 for 2. And that leaves the inning up to Tyler Renault, who was hit by a pitch to lead off last inning. He advanced to second base on a steal, but was stranded there. And he takes the first pitch on the outside edge for a called strike. Sinicola back to the set. Here's his pitch. A little too far outside that time. Wild the lead runner at third base with Zach Tamani, who pops about halfway down the line between second and third, as Renault can't catch up to the fastball, and he's down in the count 1-2. So Sinicola 1 strike away from getting out of this inning with minimal damage. Here's his 1-2 pitch. It's up and away. No chase on of Renault. Sinicola accepts the sign. Here comes his 2-2, and this is hit in the air out to right field, but there to make the play is Nathan Pierce for the out that retires the side. So Milford ended up scoring just 1 in the inning, but it could have been more. In the end, they take a 3-1 lead on the Rocketeers, as we will head to inning number 4 next on our coverage of Milford High School baseball on Milford TV. A 3-1 lead now for the Scarlet Hawks. We begin the top of the 4th inning with Zach DiMatteo, the catcher, in on the right side for North Attleboro. Aiden Wild delivers in his first pitch low. Zach DiMatteo flew out to left field in his first at bat. Now sends a pitch straight back and out of play to even the count at a ball and a strike. The 1-1 is a breaking ball that misses a little bit high. And now this one ends up over the glove of Riley Lynch. And the count now goes to 3 balls and a strike. The next one from Wild, and that one offered at in and out of the mitt of Riley Lynch as it goes for strike 2. DiMatteo upset with himself that he swung at that pitch. It might have been ball 4. Here's the 3-2, and it's sent in the air out to right field. A long run out for Anthony Arcudi, and he makes the catch straddling the line out in shallow right field. Mobilia playing too deep to make the play. Masick and Arcudi racing out onto the outfield grass, but Arcudi able to get himself in position to make a nice catch. One out and the base is empty for Nick Crawley. Crawley takes a pitch that just misses. And now a 2-ball, no strike count. The next pitch from Aiden Wild will be number 50. Here it comes. And that's in for a strike. One out and the base is empty here in the 4th. As this ball is lined back up the middle, that is down for a hit. Gonzalez gets to it and fires it back in, but Crawley has a 1-out single. That's the 4th hit now for North Attleboro. The hits are even in this game. Milford leading by a score of 3-1. And a conversation now taking place at home plate. It looks like we'll have a pinch runner. So Crawley replaced. Looks like Ryan Pasquale, the second baseman who was flexed out of the lineup, now runs. Get confirmation on that. Hard to see a uniform number. So check that. Jackson Billinghoff, the runner at first base. Iaconis at the plate. He sends a hard ground ball to second. A diving play by Arcudi, but the ball squirts out of his glove, and everyone will be safe. Arcudi slaps the ball in his glove in frustration before he fires back to the pitcher. That was a nice diving grab by Arcudi, trying to get in position to at least get the lead runner at second base, and instead the ball came loose from the glove, and that sets up runners at first and second with one out. Nolan Buckley at the plate. Tough luck error on Arcudi. As this ball is sent foul by Buckley, he grounded out to first base to conclude the second inning. No balls and 2 strikes on the batter. The tying runs on the base paths for the Rocketeers. The next one in for Buckley, and a half-hearted swing. On a tough pitch, Buckley goes down. That's the second strikeout for Aiden Wild, a good time for it. Brings the second out in the inning, and now with 2 outs, John Brennan steps to the plate. Pitch from Wild, that's a bouncer. It takes a high chop. Riley Lynch could not find it, and that allows the runners to advance. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. But that Wild pitch now puts 2 runners in scoring position. As this one is bounced to first base, that gets underneath the glove of Masick, and both runners will come home to score as Mobilia's throw will come into second base. It's not in time. It is a 2-out, 2-run double for the number 8 hitter, John Brennan, and it's a new ball game now, tied up at 3. Masick made a bid for it, but it snuck underneath his glove, and at that point, it was an automatic that both runs would come around. So Billinghoff and Iaconis cross the plate on the hit by the shortstop Brennan, and it is now a 3-3 game.
Hey, stay focused. Good boy, Johnny.
Now Jeff Gale, who was a strikeout victim his first time up, a chance here. He bounces it over to first base. Masick, trouble getting it out of the glove, but he fires to Wild, covering the first base bag, and that will get the out. That ends the inning, but a 2-out, 2-run double for the shortstop, John Brennan, for North Attleboro, allows the visitors to tie the score. It is now 3-3, as we'll head to the bottom of the 4th inning next on Milford TV. Milford led this game 2-0 and then 3-1, but now tied at 3 as the Scarlet Hawks will take their swings in the bottom of the 4th. Sinicola drills in a called strike to Kevin Cambrola to kick things off. And now a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Cambrola fouling out down the right field line his first time. Takes a cut here and taps it foul at the plate, bringing the count to 1-2. So a bit of a momentum shift from the bottom of the third inning to the top half of the fourth. Milford grabbing a run in the bottom of the third. They had 2 runners in scoring position with only 1 out in the inning, but they could not bring any additional runs home, and then North Attleboro taking advantage in their half of the fourth, plating 2 to tie it. And now that pitch up and in on Cambrola. And again, evens the count at 2. Very bright sunshine now all across the Fino Field surface as this ball is hit at the feet of Sinicola, and he catches that one in the air, says the home plate umpire. Quick reflexes from Sinicola, able to just keep that one from dropping onto the dirt and circling the pitcher's mound. Cambrola now 0 for 2, 1 down in the inning for Mobilia. Mobilia went 0 for 2 in Milford's last game against Foxborough, 0 for 1 so far today with a strikeout. Milford having some early success against Nick Sinicola, but he has settled things down for the most part. Able to pitch out of that jam in the third inning with allowing just a single run. And now a big swing and a miss from Tony Mobilia. The count now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mobilia up now. Ryan Gonsalves on deck as this pitch is sent foul and out of play. Mobilia with just 3 hits so far on the season, one of those going for a triple. The windup and the pitch from Sinicola, and it is swung on and missed. And Mobilia down by way of the K for the second time. Three strikeouts for Sinicola. He's grabbed the first 2 outs in the fourth, looking for a shutdown inning. But first, we'll have to deal with Ryan Gonsalves, who has been quiet so far. A ground out to second base his first time up. Popped up to the first baseman his second time. Gonsalves has been a good spark plug atop this lineup. Gonsalves in his senior season with the Scarlet Hawks. Here's the 2-0 pitch. It's inside. Ryan Gonsalves now in the driver's seat. A little bit of stretching for Sinicola before he goes into his windup. Here's the pitch. And that's on the outside corner for a called strike. Gonsalves thought about discarding the bat, but stays in there now as the strike was called. And that one misses down and in for ball 4. So Gonsalves able to work the walk, spoiling the bid for a 1-2-3 inning. It's the first walk for either pitcher. And a chance now for Anthony Arcudi, who would love nothing more than to atone for that tough error in the top half of this inning. He made a nice diving play, but then could not secure the ball in his mitt. That ball is sent over to first base, and just getting the feet back into the first base bag was Gonsalves. Crawley at second base was ready to head to the dugout, convinced they had the pickoff. A good snap throw from the catcher. And now they'll double up on pickoff attempts. That time Gonsalves getting back a little easier. The runner now takes off as the ball is fouled away off the bat of Arcudi. You'd have to think that Anthony Arcudi will be a strong possibility for the Milford Legion roster coming up this summer should he end up trying out for the team. He's had a good couple of seasons for this high school squad. As now he sends a high fly ball out to center field. It sends McCarthy back, but he has time to make up the ground and make the catch for the out that ends the inning. A deep drive off the bat of Arcudi, but it ends up going as out number 3. Milford does not score in the 4th. We will head to the 5th. We're still knotted up at 3 between Milford and North Attleboro here on Milford TV. Milford 3 and North Attleboro 3 as we start inning number 5. And the top 3 hitters in the North Attleboro lineup coming to the plate. Kyle McCarthy making that catch deep out in center field against Arcudi to end the bottom half of the 4th. Starting out the 5th inning. McCarthy, a sacrifice bunt his last time up, which proved to be a big play. As he's now down in the count 1-2. He was able to get John Brennan into scoring position with 2 outs, and Sinicola was able to follow that up with a single that brought North Attleboro's first run home. There's a called strike 3 in at the knees. Nothing McCarthy could do. He heads back to the dugout. The 3rd strikeout of the game for Aiden Wild, who's now up over 60 pitches in his outing. That brings up Sinicola. Takes a pitch off the outside edge. Nick Sinicola working on a 2-for-2 afternoon, a pair of singles and an RBI. He's also working on 4 innings of 3-run ball, just 2 of those runs earned as that ground ball gets under the glove of Wild, and no chance for anyone to make a play. Wild, some frustration as he could not stop that ground ball from getting past the pitcher's mound, and it ends up as the 3rd hit for Nick Sinicola, this one of the infield variety. Puts a 1-out base runner at first ahead of Nathan Pierce, who has done the same thing twice so far this afternoon, and that is pop out to center field. Accepts the sign, the runner takes off, the pitch is inside as the throw from Riley Lynch is not a good one. It loops out into shallow center. Now Gonsalves can't find it. They'll wave the runner all the way to the plate as Gonsalves double clutches on the throw. No chance to get it to the plate in time, and a breakdown for Milford results in the go-ahead run crossing the plate. That should go as 2 separate errors on the play. A stolen base awarded to Sinicola, and then an error on the throw for Lynch And an error out in center field for Gonsalves as he boxed that ball around. And that allows Nick Sinicola to come all the way around to score. And it's now a 4-3 North Attleboro lead. The base is empty as that ball goes to the backstop, glancing off the glove of Riley Lynch, and it's a 3-ball, no-strike count on Pierce. Milford has played so well during this 4-game winning streak, but getting sloppy here. As now Wild issues his first walk. And a well-timed mound visit for assistant coach Alex Dion. Wild frustrated after he missed that ground ball back up the middle, and the frustration mounting after the miscues and now the walk. A full-blown conference now on the pitcher's mound as the entire infield participates. And everyone now returns to their positions. Nathan Pierce is the one-out base runner at first, ahead of the catcher Zach DiMatteo, who is 0 for 2. Fastball on the inside part of the plate to start off the at-bat for DiMatteo. 6 hits now in the game to go along with the 4 runs for the Rocketeers. Making a bid to end their 3-game losing streak and spoil Milford's 4-game winning streak. Another pickoff check. DiMatteo flew out to left field his first time up, popped out to second base. Arcudi traveling out into shallow right to make a catch on DiMatteo his last time up, as this ball pitches a strike as the ball goes to the backstop, and no throw to third base for Lynch as Pierce takes 2 bases as that ball goes to the backstop. And right now, Coach Pellegrini getting the umpires together to talk about something here. It's a no-ball, 2-strike count on DiMatteo, batting now with a runner at third base. Wild takes something off that one, but can't locate it. It's high for ball 1. We've talked a little bit over these last few games we've had a chance to cover about the throwing issues for Riley Lynch behind the plate. As this ball is grounded back towards the mound, Wild freezes the runner at third before firing to first base to get the out there. Some contact between the runner and Alex Masick, and DiMatteo ends up on his back as a result. So the out goes 1-3 as Milford is able to get the second out of the inning while holding Pierce at third. And a first pitch strike to Nick Crawley, who singled. His last time up was lifted for a courtesy runner. That runner ended up coming in to score. Crawley here pops a pitch in foul ground behind first, but that makes it far beyond the field of play. A difficult inning in terms of fundamentals for Milford. Wild trying to end it. This ball is hit in the air out to center field, but under control, Gonsalves able to make the catch for the out that ends the inning. But North Attleboro gets a gift run on a defensive breakdown for Milford. A pair of errors allow Nick Sinicola to come all the way around to score on a stolen base attempt. And that allows North Attleboro to take a 4-3 lead. We will be heading towards the bottom of the 5th inning when we come back next on this coverage of Scarlet Hawks Athletics on Milford TV. 2 of North Attleboro's runs have been unearned in this game as Milford has committed 3 errors. North Attleboro with a 4-3 lead. Now into the bottom of the 5th inning, Aiden Wild leading it off against the starting pitcher, Nick Sinicola. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count on Wild. He singled his first time up, reached on an error when he came to the plate in the 3rd. Now takes a pitch inside. Does not appear Milford has any activity warming up on the sideline, so Wild will continue on the mound when we get to the 6th inning. It's a 3-ball, 1-strike count now on Aiden. And now takes that pitch low for ball 4. Good start for Milford. They immediately put the tying run at first base ahead of Zach Tamani. He reached on an error his last time up that was part of back-to-back errors at shortstop. That looked like they were opening the door for a big Milford rally. Milford settled for 1 run in the inning, and that proved to be the turning point in the game. Ended up as a 3-1 lead after that frame, and since then, North Attleboro scoring 3 times to take the lead. Pickoff check over at first base, but Wild was back standing. And they'll continue to try to keep Wild close. Aiden, like many of his teammates, with good stolen base numbers on the season. As this ball is sent out to shallow right field, and the basket catch made. Now the throw back into first base, not in time. Wild got caught a couple of steps away from first base, but was able to get back. On that looping line drive off the bat of Tamani that was caught for out number 1. Tamani now 0 for 3, and that brings up Alex Cody. An RBI single and a strikeout has been the afternoon for the sophomore. Just a little bit outside on that offering from Sinicola. And now a throw over to first base. Wild once again back safely. Now the pitch high. DiMatteo thinking about a throw to first base, but keeps it in the glove. And now timeout granted. Wild once again leads off of first, where he's held close by Crawley and also held close by the pickoff attempt. A number going over in that direction. Aiden Wild right now leading the Scarlet Hawks team in stolen bases. He has 6 of them in all on the season. And now Sinicola steps off, trying to throw off the timing for Wild at first. A bluff at first base as the pitch comes home, and it's a called strike to Cody, bringing the count to 2-1. And once again, Sinicola fires over to first base. now blowing from left to right. This time Wild takes off as the ball is sent on the ground just past the dive of Pasquale at second base. Wild hits second, heads on to third. Perfect hit and run executed by the Scarlet Hawks as Cody delivers it right through the vacated hole on the right side. And it's now runners at the corners. Chance for Alex Masick. The second hit of the game for Alex Cody. A deep fly ball could tie this game as Masick comes to the plate with one away. Instead, Masick shows bunt, pulls the bat back, and takes a called strike one. Masick 0 for 2. A fly out to left and a pop out to the pitcher. As now Sinicola steps off. Milford with the tying run at third and the go-ahead run at first. As Masick again shows bunt, he's able to get it out in front of the plate. The tag applied by the catcher, and Wild is out. Coach Pellegrini out to argue. Coach Pellegrini perhaps suggesting that the tag was not applied before Aiden Wild slid into the plate, but it looked like a clean play. That ball not very far out in front of the plate. Milford taking the chance to send Wild home. And the result is an out at the plate. Masick safe at first on the fielder's choice. That leaves it up to Tyler Renault. A curious play for the Scarlet Hawks, putting the bunt on in that situation. Now they will hope for something out of Tyler Renault, taking the first pitch low. Tyler has been hit by a pitch and has flown out to right. Now takes a pitch down in the dirt. Does not get very far away from DiMatteo. Milford needing a big hit out of their senior captain. Runners lead off of first and second. As this ball is hit on the ground to shortstop, waiting for it is John Brennan. He flips it underhand to second base to get the force play there for the out that ends the inning. And Milford, despite having runners at the corners with only one out, they do not score. And they continue to trail North Attleboro by a score of 4-3 as we will head to the sixth inning on this coverage of Scarlet Hawks Athletics on Milford TV. 4 runs, 6 hits, and 2 errors for North Attleboro. 3 runs, 5 hits, 3 errors for Milford. As the Rocketeers will start off the sixth inning with their number 6 hitter, Matt Iaconis. Aiden Wild returns to the hill for the Scarlet Hawks, delivering the first pitch low for ball 1. Wild thrown out at the plate as the potential tying run in the bottom of the 5th on a curious bunt play, as that ball was hit hard down the first base line, but it just kicks foul. We've not seen a lot of bunting out of Alex Masick in his high school career. You wonder if Coach Pellegrini had to do it over again, he would have let Masick swing the bat in that situation. Instead, the Scarlet Hawks continuing to trail. As Iaconis fouls that one at the dish, it's still a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Iaconis followed by Nolan Buckley and John Brennan in the 6th. It's cooled off here at Pheno Field as We have a thicker cloud cover overhead now. The breeze picking up as that ball is in for a called strike 3. Aiden Wild with his 4th strikeout. He's had the strikeout pitch working better here in the later innings. Looks like we'll have a pinch hitter now for the Rocketeers. As that pitch is in for a strike. The batter, Tyler Lafreniere, batting for Nolan Buckley. He's down in the count. And that pitch in for a strike. A very quick 3-pitch strikeout of the pinch hitter Lafreniere, and there are 2 down now in the inning. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Aiden Wild. And now here is John Brennan, who has the biggest hit in this ball game. Came with 2 outs in the 4th inning with 2 runners aboard. Brennan getting a double, driving in both runners to, at the time, tie the game at 3. The windup and the pitch. And it's sent down the third base line. Waiting for it is Cody. He fires over to first. A good stretch for Masick for the out that ends the inning. So Aiden Wild is able to quickly set down the North Attleboro bats 1-2-3. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Milford needing to generate some late game offense, trailing the Rocketeers by a score of 4-3 as you enjoy coverage of Milford High School baseball on Milford TV. Milford with 6 outs left to work with. They trail North Attleboro 4-3. They'll have batters 8, 9, and 1 due up here against Nick Sinicola. Kevin Cambrola gets it started, sends a bunt out back towards the pitcher's mound. Sinicola waits for it and fires to first base to record the out. Cambrola needed to send that one a little bit more down the third base line. Instead, got it out towards the pitcher, and Sinicola able to make the play. Cambrola now 0 for 3. And right now, batters 6 through 9 in the Milford lineup, 0 for 10 in this game. So they've struggled to get some production out of the bottom part of their order, and for that very reason, we see a pinch hitter come up here. In the place of Tony Mobilia, we see Luke Allegrezza. Takes a big cut at the first pitch, a high fastball from Sinicola for strike 1. Allegrezza getting the start at first base in the game last Thursday against Foxborough. Luke going 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts in the game. Now that pitch missing a little bit low, and the count now swinging into Allegrezza's favor, 2-1. Trying to get on base to turn the lineup over. Couldn't pull the trigger, and takes a look at strike 2. Now pops this pitch foul. It will go beyond the field of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out and the base is empty. Sinicola into his windup. Here's the pitch, and it's sent hard but foul off towards the parking lot. Vehicles beware, especially on contact like that. Still a 2-2 count. Next pitch on the way, and it's low. Chatter now coming out of the Milford dugout as they try to inspire a 6th inning rally. It's a full count on Allegrezza. Here's the next pitch. And down the third base line, but foul. Ryan Gonsalves taking his swings in the on-deck circle. But first, another 3-2 pitch into Allegrezza. Here it comes. And again, it is spoiled foul. Putting on a tough at-bat against Nick Sinicola, whose pitch count is mounting here in the bottom of the 6th. And that pitch high for ball 4. A little bit up, and Allegrezza works the walk. Once again, Milford has the tying run on the base paths. And Gonsalves now first pitch swinging, loops one out into center field. McCarthy has it sized up, and he makes the catch. Aggressive swinging by Gonsalves on that first offering, and he becomes out number 2. Leaves the inning in the hands of Anthony Arcudi. Anthony 2 for 3, a single and a run scored in the first, an infield hit, a stolen base, and a run scored in the third. Takes the first pitch high for ball 1, now a snap throw to first base. The throw handcuffed Crawley over at first base, or else they might have had a chance at Allegrezza. You can see the confidence in Zach DiMatteo behind the plate. He is fearless to send those throws anywhere on the diamond. Now Arcudi launches one out to center field, but again, McCarthy has it under control and makes the catch for the out that ends the inning. Another runner stranded on base. Milford has had runners aboard in every inning so far this afternoon, but they continue to trail in the game by a score of 4-3 as we will head to the 7th inning when we come back next on Milford TV. Aiden Wild returns to the mound once again, looking to hold the score right where it is. A 4-3 lead for North Attleboro as they come to the plate in the top of the 7th. The number 9 hitter, Jeff Gale, leads it off, swings at the first pitch, and sends it foul and off towards the spectators taking in this game down the right field line. And Aiden Wild wanting a new baseball sent back to the pitcher's mound. A no ball, 1 strike count on Gale. Now an even 1 ball, 1 strike count. Gale a strikeout victim in the third, grounded out 3-1 to conclude the 4th inning. Now sends a pitch in the air out to right field. Now into foul territory where that will land. To keep the at-bat alive for Gale. Looks like Mobilia back out there in right field after getting pinch hit for in the bottom half of the 6th. The 1-2 pitch on the ground towards second base. Room service hop for Arcudi, and he sends an easy throw to first. Coach Pellegrini wanting to see the intensity stay up amongst his players out on the field. They have 1 out in the top of the 7th. And a 4th plate appearance now for Kyle McCarthy. A swing and a miss. McCarthy a ground out in the first, a sacrifice bunt in the third, and a strikeout in the 5th. A 1 pitch. It's low and outside, skips past the glove of Lynch. 2-ball, 1-strike count. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 7th inning, Milford will have the middle of their order. Aiden Wild, Zach Tamani, and Alex Cody due up. But first, they need to get through this top half of the inning where Aiden Wild is now fallen behind McCarthy. A full count now to the North Attleboro leadoff hitter. Here's the payoff pitch, and it misses for ball 4. The second walk for Aiden Wild. And a tough batter coming to the plate, and Nick Sinicola. Wild has not been able to retire his counterpart so far today. 3 singles, an RBI, and a run scored. The runner takes off on the first pitch. And no problem for McCarthy to get down into scoring position. Now that pitch misses a little bit outside. It's a 2-ball, no-strike count to the number 2 hitter, Sinicola. Now Wild able to pull that one back to the edge of the strike zone. Wild sets and deals. Delivers in ball 3. Wild maybe tiring here in the 7th inning. Had a quick and easy 1-2-3 6th. But a 1-out walk and now a stolen base puts a runner in scoring position in the 7th. And that ball up and away, and back-to-back walks now for Wild. And Riley Lynch now out for a conversation with his starting pitcher. Milford getting some extra help in the outfield as a quartet of geese have landed out in left center field. Been flying around Pheno Field throughout the afternoon, now deciding to touch down out in left center. Hopefully they will avoid any activity out there. As Aiden Wild delivers a called strike 1 into Nathan Pierce. Wild walking back-to-back hitters to put himself in a jam in the 7th. Now a swing and a miss. Wild rearing back for that fastball. Pierce is 0 for 2. A pair of pop-outs. Does have a walk to his credit. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Lifted in the air, foul. Cody gives it a look, but that is far out of play. And it stays 0-2. McCarthy, the lead runner at second. Sinicola at first. Here's the 0-2 pitch. And outside, trying to get Pierce to chase. Now a 1-2. This is floated out to shallow center field. It's trouble down for a hit. The runners had to hold up momentarily in case that ball was caught. So McCarthy advances to third and holds there. Sinicola down to second on the single by Pierce. And trouble now for Aiden Wild as North Attleboro has loaded the bases with 1 out. A golden opportunity for the catcher Zach DiMatteo to drive in some insurance runs. DiMatteo looking for his first hit. He's 0 for 3. After a brief conversation with Coach Dion, Wild's first pitch narrowly misses the zone. Now 1-0 pitch, and that misses high and outside, and the situation getting dire for Wild here. 2 balls and no strikes the count, nowhere to put the batter. As now that one misses inside, and it is a 3-ball, no strike count. McCarthy, Sinicola, and Pierce all out to a lead as that ball drops in for a called strike. DiMatteo taking all the way. Here's the 3-1. Popped in the air out to right center field. A long run for Mobilia. He makes the catch. Tagging at third base is McCarthy. He will come in to score. It's a sacrifice fly for Zach DiMatteo. It pushes the Rocketeers in front 5-3. So McCarthy scores. Sinicola advanced to third base with Pierce holding at first. So runners at the corners with 2 down. And that runner at first base immediately takes off. No throw from Lynch. Two in scoring position for Nick Crawley. It's a 2-ball, no strike count. Wild trying to find a way to get out of this inning with no more runs allowed. That ball lifted foul and out of play. Tough return throw to the mound that time. Wild having to track it down. Here's the 2-1 pitch, and it's lifted in the air out to shallow right center field. That's going to drop, and 2 more runs are going to cross the plate for North Attleboro. Sinicola and Pierce come in to score as that ball dropped out in the Bermuda Triangle out in shallow right center field. Gonsalves, Mobilia, and Arcudi all giving chase, but it drops in, and Crawley has a 2-run single. North Attleboro giving themselves some separation here in the top of the 7th. They've scored 3 times so far. Opening up a 7-3 lead, and now here comes Coach Pellegrini. And it looks like we'll see a pitching change here as the coach makes the slow trip to the pitcher's mound, takes the baseball from Wild. It was a good outing, all things considered, for Aiden, but running out of steam here in the 7th inning. And it looks like we'll see Nate Irwin take over on the pitcher's mound. Wild will stay in the game defensively. But we'll step aside here quickly as Irwin makes his warm-up tosses. It's now a 7-3 North Attleboro lead. They continue to bat here in the top of the 7th. We'll continue on next here on Milford TV. The new pitcher on for the Scarlet Hawks is Nate Irwin. The righty inherits a runner at first base with 2 outs in the top of the 7th inning in a game that has gotten away from Milford here in the late innings. Irwin immediately checks in on Nick Crawley, the runner at first, who drove in 2 big North Attleboro runs with a single, chasing Aiden Wild from the game. Still the responsibility of the Milford starter as that pitch hits the top of the strike zone. Irwin sets, hesitates, and now comes to the plate. That one too high. So Aiden Wild going 6 2/3 innings, allowing 7 runs on 8 hits. 5 of those runs earned. He walked 3 and struck out 5. As now Iaconis sends a ball out into right center field, and it will be Alex Cody who took over defensively in right field with the shifting as Aiden Wild moved to third base. Cody going out to right field, so he makes the catch for the out that ends the inning. But again, A tough inning for Milford as they allow 3 runs. They allow North Attleboro to open up a 7-3 lead, and some work to do if they hope to come back in this one. We'll have the bottom of the 7th inning next on Milford TV. Bottom half of the 7th inning. Milford facing now a 4-run deficit after that tricky top half of the 7th inning. It was just a 1-run advantage for North Attleboro when the 7th inning began, but 3 runs scoring, and RBI for Zach Tomato. 2 runs batted in for Nick Crawley. All of those runs the responsibility of Aiden Wild, who leads off this bottom half of the 7th inning trying to get something started. He's ahead in the count, 2-1. Wild's been on base all 3 times he's come to the plate, a single, a walk, and he reached on an error. Now an even count of 2 balls and 2 strikes. Wild, Tamani, and Cody, the 3 batters expected. As this one is hit on the ground slowly towards shortstop, Brennan has it, fires to first base, a low throw, but dug out by Crawley. And Wild is retired. The first out recorded by Nick Sinicola, looking to go the distance on the mound for North Attleboro. Milford was able to take a quick 2-0 lead in this game back in the bottom of the 1st inning. And took a 3-1 lead, grabbing a run in the 3rd inning, but Sinicola able to dance out of several jams over the course of this afternoon. Milford with runners stranded in each of the first 6 innings. A total of 8 runners left on base on the day for the Scarlet Hawks, so their offense, which had been very efficient in this 4-game winning streak, not taking advantage of opportunities today, and that opened the door for the North Attleboro comeback. As Tamani now grounds one slowly to third base, it pops off the third base bag, and Tamani will reach on the infield single. Milford in need of base runners. Tamani aboard with 1 out. And Cody up next, 2 for 3 on the day for Cody. A pair of singles, also a run driven in. And this one is grounded to second base. A shuffle throw to second base for the out there. The throw to first is there in time. 4-6-3. North Attleboro turns the inning-ending and the game-ending double play. Cody, a rare first pitch swing, and ends up grounding into the game ender. And it also is a winning streak ender for the Scarlet Hawks as they see their 4-game winning streak come to an end as they lose this one to North Attleboro by a final score of 7-3. A gritty effort for the Rocketeers, eventually wearing down Aiden Wild in the late innings. And so North Attleboro earns their 4th victory overall on the season. They go to 4-4. Milford, now with the loss, they fall to 4-3 overall on the season. So a disappointing loss for the Scarlet Hawks. They will try to get right back on the winning path their next time out. They will be on the road on April 26th in a matchup against Sharon. Milford playing their next 2 games on the road. They will not be back here at Pheno Field until May 3rd. Our next coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics, weather permitting, will come your way on Wednesday of this week as the Milford softball team returns home to take on their Sharon counterparts. That is when we will have our coverage next. In the meantime, a big thank you to our Milford TV crew. On hand for the game this afternoon, our director, Daniel Harlow, our assistant director, John Giacomuzzi, Mike Sperling also helping out on the broadcast, and our camera operator out in the field, Malcolm Zale. And I am Tim Coet. Your final score one final time. Milford falls to North Attleboro by a final score of 7-3. This has been a presentation of Scarlet Hawks Athletics on Milford TV. So long, everybody.